Three things I used to do with my dogs that when I look back at, I cringe so hard. I used to sleep with my dogs in the bed. It's a great thing to do if you want a codependent, nervous, anxious, reactive dog, and I'm disgusted I even used to do this.
For the vast majority of dogs, this comment is fear-mongering bullshit. Can some dogs develop anxiety because they spend too much time with you? Yes. Do you need to not have your dog sleep in your bed to combat that? No. Are dogs going to develop reactivity because they sleep in the bed with you? No. They're going to develop reactivity if they never leave your house and the only time they spend with you is sleeping with you. These things are not because of the dog sleeping in the bed. Can some dogs develop things like resource guarding because they sleep in the bed with you, or they claim the bed and then your other dog comes in or something like that and they feel like they are defending their territory? Yes. But that is a very rare case, and in that case, you don't have your dog sleep with you. 9 out of 10 dogs, perfectly fine and even more mentally healthy because it's a pack sleeping together.
Meeting with other dogs on the leash. This is not conducive to good training or good leash manners. If you want a dog that's calm on the leash, you definitely don't want to do this.
So this one is completely fine. I 100% agree. Your dog is working when they're on a leash. It doesn't matter if they're in a neighborhood or they're in a more public environment. Your dog should not have the expectation of meeting other dogs when they are on leash because they are working and it is not safe. You can activate their opposition reflex, you can build frustration, and more importantly is your dog does not know how to differentiate meeting this dog on the leash versus meeting this dog on the leash, so your dog is guessing which dog they get to meet on the leash if you are inconsistent with it. If you have a blanket statement, my dog when they're on leash does not meet other dogs, your dog knows in this setting I don't meet them, so I don't have to build anticipation, which is how service dogs are able to perform even with other dogs around, because they have been taught the expectation that you ignore other dogs while you're working. Your pet dog should be working when they're on a leash, and their job is to pay attention to you and uphold the structure and rules for the environment.
And last but not least, Jesus Lord help me, the dog park. Half of my problems could have been averted if I stayed away from this god-awful place.
Dog parks, a controversial subject, and as you might guess if you watch my videos, I have a controversial take on it. 9 out of 10 dog trainers are going to tell you that you should always run away. It's not if, it's when there's going to be a dog fight. And maybe in the places in the world that they are training their dogs and where they live, that's true. I don't know. But I live in the Pacific Northwest, which has some of the best dog parks in the entire world. Now, if I lived in a space that had a lot of apartment complexes around and the majority of the dogs that were going to that dog park had been cooped up all day, and their one time for enrichment were these people that don't train their dogs were taking their dogs to the dog park, I would assess that situation and be like, nope, this one is not good. There are definitely dog parks that are not big enough, that the people and communities are not healthy enough, that I would never take my dogs to. But a good community, large dog park, and you know the do's and don'ts, then your dog experiencing what it's like to be in that sort of community can be one of the greatest gifts that you can give that dog. It's not dog parks are bad. It's we need a responsible, stable community that's going to set our dogs up for success. And then my dog needs to be socially educated and healthy enough to be able to succeed in that environment, even if the other dog is not necessarily stable enough. And as an example of that, I'll say, if I go to the dog park and I stand in one spot for 10 minutes, along with 8 other people that are standing in that same spot and we're all chatting, the chances of one of our 8 dogs starting to get territorial over that space because they're starting to feel like we are claiming that area, that's going to be potentially an issue. But if I walk around the dog park and I have a socially and mentally stable dog, even if I interact with a dog that could end up having that problem if we all stand in a big group together, they can last the 45 seconds of introducing, sniffing that dog, and then separating and moving on as we're going on a structured hike inside a large dog park. And those sorts of experiences will change a dog's life. That will take a dog from mentally nervous, unhealthy, not that confident around other dogs, to feeling absolutely nothing and being able to go throughout life without the question mark of when can I interact with a dog or I'm scared of interacting with a dog. Instead, you can have a dog that understands when they can, when they can't, and it does not affect them that this other dog is also existing in the same space as them.